Hello there, my friend Fred DeFalco here. Welcome to number 37 of 40 Soul Stop. This is a month, this month of just unbelievable transformation celebrations, Passover, Easter, Ramadan. And what do these three things what can they teach us about ourselves, about who we really are as a people? But before freedom comes the fire. Let's jump right into the soul stop. We're getting off of this train. Now, this station is going to burn a little bit, but before freedom, there's heat. I promise you. Before the freedom comes the fire, and I'm just going to ask you, just be still for a moment. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Who we truly are. This is definitely inspired by Passover, Easter, and Ramadan. That is called Abrahamic religious traditions and history, real history. Before freedom comes to fire, before peace becomes the plague, before resurrection a cross, before revelation the trembling. The soul does not skip the struggle. Only the ego wants to skip the struggle. All three of these Abrahamic traditions, still often divided by doctrine or geography, carry a shared truth buried beneath their rituals that will set you free from all crisis and conflicts and fire and aggravation in your life. There is no awakening without shaking, no rising without a breaking, and no clarity without a crisis. I'm finishing up a 21-day food fast because I said to my group, my companies, I said, I need clarity. And what a time of year to do it. The Passover, God sent Moses, but first came 400 years of slavery, the plagues, the slaughter of Egypt's firstborn, the wilderness experience, 40 years on a trip that only should have taken them a couple weeks. Freedom was born in the blood, in the wandering, in the letting go. 40 years in a desert that was a few-week trip. What goes on with us human beings? And then you bring in Easter into this. God sent Jesus, but first came betrayal, then a torture, then the cross. 3 days of silence. Resurrection was born in suffering, surrender, and divine silence, and the sacrifice of the physical to show that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And then Ramadan, what a beautiful revelation. God sent revelation, but first came Muhammad's trembling in a cave. He thought he was going mad when he started getting the messages. And all these things have the same historical significance. It is for that time of existence for human beings to take them to the next chapter, the next chapter, the next chapter. And none of us should be radical. We blame Islam for being radical, so many being radical, but Christians did the same thing. They read the history of what we did, the Christians did, and then what some of how misguided some of the Jews were in all their history and the way that we've slayed people because thinking that it's all about the physical, and it's not. The guidance was born in isolation, fear, and purification. So, what about you? What needs to die before you finally live? I want to ask you that question. I want to show you up here that this is the traditions, the Abrahamic traditions. The 920 Society is seeking to bring this concept of wisdomology, time and wisdom, and truth and wisdom together in all areas, all pragmatic areas. I'm going to show you a chart that will change your life of your family, your businesses. It will change the world. But what needs to die before we finally live? What beliefs, illusion, identity, or idol has to be cleared off our altar before truth and peace take their place. This is the real wisdom. Time and wisdom, truth and wisdom. Sometimes you need the fire to burn away the false. Sometimes you need the silence to hear the truth. Sometimes you need the wilderness to learn to trust the unseen. Before the celebration, there's a shaking. Before the miracle, there is a mourning. Today's declaration, I will no longer curse the fire that I am going through. I will no longer curse the fires I've had in my life. I will no longer curse the fires of my confusion and doubt. I will no longer fight the wilderness. I will let what needs to die die so that what lives in truth may rise. Let me share this chart with you, my friend. I want you to be powerful beyond belief. I want you to tap who you truly are, who we all are as a human race and as a people. And boy, that does burn for me. I remember I read one book. It was called The Parousia in the 1800s. It was written. And my traditional beliefs and my 35 years of practicing a certain form of Christianity. And as soon as I said, wait a minute, I read this book, we've got some of our things wrong. And they said, you can stay, but let's not think. No, we're not going to let you do that around here. 35 years. And but the fire of that rejection of I just ask people to think. Look, let me show you what's going on in us individually. You're talking about a Passover. You're talking about pain. This has been, oh my gosh, I'll be 72 this year, and this has been such a painful journey, but it's been a beautiful journey, a loving journey, and it keeps getting more and more clear. And being in this 21 day of this fast, I said I want more clarity of, and then these holidays, I didn't even plan this project I was doing, 40 soul stops to pay attention to our souls. And I was thinking this morning, I said, what can I do for this time? This is Passover and Easter week. It's almost Easter. And so here we are. First of all, my nonprofit is called Encouragement Enterprise International. My YouTube channel, I'm making it the kindergarten of life. We got to get back and become courageous. The Latin word cur means heart. How do we get our heart back? We got to be honest. If things aren't serving us well deep down in our souls, then we got to challenge it. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined beliefs are not worth having. Yeah, as soon as I started examining my belief of 35 years, I got thrown out. So we got to be honest with ourselves. You got to pay attention to our soul intelligence. God speaks to every single individual. Study Joan of Arc. They burned her at the stake. The Catholic Church burned her at the stake because she claimed that God had a message to speak through her. And 500 years later, they made her a saint. Are you thinking that we need to challenge this beautiful thing that we've been given? You better believe it. This chart will radically change your life. This is all about learning honesty, self-honesty, self-empathy, attitudinal development, attitudinal healing. R is for reserves, learning how to call on your reserves. When I read that book from the 1800s, so many years ago in 2000, it just stirred something within me, my intelligence, my soul intelligence, and I couldn't stop. And then I said, wait a minute, there's something that doesn't fit. And then I had to get tough. I had to have a tough skin, but a soft heart. But oh, my heart got broken so badly. And the fire came. And the fire just burned away, though, all these things, and it keeps burning them away. You see, we're not two type of people. We're not dualistic, but this is our programmed self. This is the self-made us. This is what we were programmed the first 7 years of our life. But this is who we really came here as. And then the more that this is emphasized, the more this goes down, the more this is understood that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. This will come down. And then when you look over here, this is all these are in comparison to the right. If you want this soul chart, just reach out to me. I have it I'll put it in a Google Doc in the YouTube video. I'll make sure I put a link to this. I'm going to put a link right to this PowerPoint. I want this to go throughout the world. I really want this to go throughout the world, how to understand ourselves. You see, I have made millions and millions of dollars from this over here. And it also calls me to lose millions and millions of dollars, and it calls me to get it again. It calls me to lose it again. And this is the ego, my friend. Welcome to the ego world. This is the external. And when you come over here, this is the real you, the internal. This is where all this happens over here. This is where all this happens over here. This is where all this happens, conflict and anger. And over here, it's nothing but collaboration and peace. All over here, it's about promises, progress, and extension. Over here, it's about compromises, regression, and projection. Over here, it's about a monkey mind. Over here, it is about this goal mind, the divine mind. This is what you get when you operate from the soul. This is what you get when you operate from your ego. This is what you get when you operate from your soul. This is what you get when you operate from your ego. My friend, this is really an unreal world over here, the ego. This is the only real world. This is what happens when you live and understand who you really are. This is what happens when you get stuck with who you think you are, who you made, the world made, your programming made. This is what's going to happen. You're going to age quickly. You're going to have sickness, sleep. You want to sleep in. You want to check out. You want a life happening to you. You are defensive. You're a victim. Why me? Something wrong with me. Something wrong with them. Nightmares over here. Ageless health awakes. Checking in. Life happening for you, not to you. You are offensive and you're the victor. And instead of saying, why me over here, something wrong, you're always saying, why not me? There's something right with me. There's something right with them. There's something right with the world. And then dreams are going to start happening. You're over here, you quit asking this question from the ego, what am I here for? Oh, I'm here for the getting. That's the perceptions and the lies. And over here, you're just going to say, why am I here? Oh, I'm here for giving the 920 promise of peace and goodwill for all. And eventually your life is going to become all about what can I do for you, God? What can I do for you, life? Over here, you're just going to be consumed. What will you do for me, God? What will you do for me, life? Over here, you're addicted to the language. Over here, in just stories. Over here, you're going to get addicted to experiences and stillness. And over here, I'll finish with this, my friend. I want you to be challenged to become a person of substance that you really are. Because see, this is who you are. This is not what you become. You don't do over here. Over here is all the doing. You notice? Over here is all the doing. Over here is all the doing. Over here is all the being. Over here is about performance. Over here is about the person. And then I'm going to finish with this. Are you going to be a person of substance or substance abuse? The reason I did the 21-day fast was for clarity. But I'm a food abuser. I love food. I can abuse it. Oh, give me a half a gallon of ice cream and you won't see it in about 20 minutes. Let's become person of substance. Blessings, my friend. Use this that you've given. It's there. Blessings, blessings, blessings. What a beautiful few weeks. Tune in, check in, and let's really change the world together. I'm looking forward to seeing you awaken that 920 hidden code in your life. Join the 920 Society Facebook group. It's a open group, and then I have the private group. It's still been formulated in the last couple years, and but the YouTube channel, the Kindergarten of Life. We have got to get back to the basics of our human existence, why we're here. Why does God wipe the earth clean about every 90 years? Because it's progressing. It's progressing. It's not about us. We're came from love, going back to love. Come on, let's embrace one another. And the fact that this beautiful time of year. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that I see you on the YouTube channel. Comment, join it, join the 920 Society. And, the 920 Society is a part of the Encouragement Enterprises. And I want to awaken your heart within you. I want you to live with such power. You see, your soul, just like Joan of Arc, she was such an individual. You're an individual. I'm an individual. Don't let anyone sell you anything different. Be true to who you really are. You have a your soul DNA and thumbprint is just like your physical one. I love you. I'm so glad you are here. Blessings.